Granolah went from being a whiny gimp with nothing more than a sad backstory to the perfect foil for Goku all within one chapter. How's it going, everybody? Savvier saying what is good to all my Super Saiyan homies, here to bring you all sorts of Dragon Ball and anime gaming content. If you enjoy the video, please consider hitting that thumbs up, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you don't miss out on any future content. That being said, today we're going to be talking about Granolah and Goku, and how I feel that Granolah went from being such a weird, whiny character to the perfect foil for Goku, all within Chapter 72. With the fight between Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah beginning so quickly, we see the standard Dragon Ball tropes coming to light while also being challenged by Granolah himself. Though Goku and Vegeta are falling into their typical antics, Granolah has changed things up from the typical Dragon Ball formula. Despite being incredibly serious and intent to end the fight quickly, Granolah seems to poke fun at the Saiyans and how they've come to fight in recent years. As opposed to the typical grandstanding and showing off, Granolah seeks to conceal his identity for as long as possible, keeping his distance with ki blasts and observing for vital points. On top of this, even though he notes the change of color in their hair, Granolah has no interest in the names of the Saiyans' transformations, nor letting Goku ascend through them and assessing his opponents like he normally does, stating that he doesn't have the luxury. Not only do we not have Goku fighting at his strongest, but Vegeta going on his trend of not wishing to work together, though he does allow Goku to fight Granolah first. Granolah notes that they are a race of fools, showing that he doesn't anticipate either of them being strong enough to win alone. What's refreshing about this is he's flaunting that he's the strongest in the universe, but rather than the pissing contest of who can throw the strongest punch and who can take the worst punch, Granolah is playing strategically. His attacks are calculated and require thought, which is a complete juxtaposition for Ultra Instinct. The idea for Ultra Instinct being the muscles and body move before the mind can overthink things, but with a calculated attack pattern requiring a more abstract thought, this concept takes a total 180. Though Goku has had many serious life-threatening fights, we know as a martial artist he does fight for fun. But we've seen through the fierceness and cold-heartedness, Granolah doesn't seem to do any of this out of enjoyment, and purely out of necessity to achieve his goals. Though he doesn't have a catalog of transformations like the Saiyans, he wastes no time fighting at his best and aiming to eliminate at least one of the Saiyans, noting that he can find out where Frieza is from the other. While I said at the beginning of the video Granolah's character really just seemed to be nothing more than a sad backstory, his past and the Saiyans aren't too far off from one another. They're all the sole survivors of their race, ultimately being killed at the hands of Frieza. However, unlike the Saiyans, who have had multiple occasions to confront Frieza and evolve from their encounters, Granolah has spent all this time brooding in the ruins of his home. At the end of the day, Granolah is someone hardened by trauma, anger, and a long-standing grudge that he has yet to be able to reconcile, forever reminded and forced to live in the wake of his people's demise, while Goku lived happily unaware of his path, learning to love, be kind-hearted, and one day honor his heritage. Two sides of the same coin, one raised in love, the other despair. It seems as though Toyotaro was preparing for this moment for quite some time, and even though it felt kinda rushed to get here, the payoff was well worth it. Seeing someone who actually challenged Goku strategically and mentally, concentrating on distance and weak points rather than just the brute strength and hand-to-hand combat, while also being able to keep pace with him, was quite a nice step for Dragon Ball. On top of this, Granolah's constant commentary on the Saiyans serves as an active yet self-aware critique of the source material, even on the fighting and habits of the Saiyans, most recently in the Moro arc. Yet, as it did this, it didn't betray the integrity of Goku's progress and what he stood for throughout the series. While Granolah is dismissive and uninterested in Goku's training, abilities, and transformations, Goku's motivations for being there in the first place is his interest in fighting the strong and supposed evil villain that he is. He still makes his usual Goku-like comments, stating he can no longer go Ozaru, but now has a bunch of other transformations that he can use, becoming a Super Saiyan God, and also noting that Granolah can't claim the title of being strongest in the universe, quote, so easily. While Granolah rubbed me the wrong way at first, seemingly bypassing any meaningful progress as a character, his deviations from the standard behaviors of your average Dragon Ball antagonist have served as the perfect comparison for Goku's character, encompassing the growth and lack thereof of the Saiyans. Though his character seemed rushed at first, it's clear that he was truly meant to be face-to-face with the Saiyans rather than